Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. And it's suddenly raining. For no reason. I think this is like the only area in the entire game. There may be one or two others I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, it's suddenly raining. It will not be raining at any other point in the game. Again, I can't probably remember, but it's raining here, and there's no explanation as to why it's raining. I think it rains here. I want to say it rains in the other rooftop area. I don't know. We'll get to that part in a moment. It's just weird. It was perfectly fine before I went into the manor, and it will be perfectly fine again when I exit the manor. It's a short-lived bit of rain. But this area is called Don't Look Down Scooby-Doo. It's a slightly misleading name. Because, while it's a perfectly fine name for this section, the other section's indoors, and therefore does not make any sense. And you still gotta mind your footing occasionally, but other than that, yeah, it's fine. Anyway, it's here that we're introduced to a very annoying enemy in the game called the Gargoyle. Now, I collected the monster token for this thing in the playground. We're only now seeing it. Usually you pick up the monster token in an area associated with the monster itself. Not always, but usually that's where you'll find it. Like, we'll find the Ghost of Captain Cutler's monster token, and that will be in a factory that's full of fish. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why the gargoyle was in the playground, but I guess they needed something to introduce it. And I guess they just felt like the gargoyle was the best option. There are a few others that can be out of place, but other than that, for the most part, they are where you've been seeing the monster. And Captain Moody, because Captain Moody is about as useless as Geronimo in this game. Outside of a boss fight, you only encounter that thing once. But yeah, the gargoyles are annoying. It's because, you know, they're flying, and they want you to defeat them when you get the ground pound thingamajig, which is fine and all, but there is a hidden power up. Well, it's not hidden. I think we saw it at the end of the last part. There is a power up in this level, and I think they want you to get it when you have the ground pound. Thank you, bats, for making me fall down there. I, however, cannot be bothered to come back to this when I have the ground pound, and I want the power up now because it's a superior version to the power up that I hardly ever use. I'll still hardly ever use it, but it's better. The puddle does make you temporarily slide around. Only a little bit. Now we have a creeper down here. The spiders are freaking massive in this area, in this game, I have to say. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, the small animals, the spiders, the rats, the crabs, they're all normal. But what's going on with the monsters? Well, we'll have to find out. But I think the mastermind has something to do with it. We've yet to meet this mastermind. Maybe we will soon. Spiders everywhere. So this place really needs to call an exterminator. It's like, where's the maintenance behind this place? It's like every building in Scooby-Doo is always full of all sorts of spider webs, dust, all that stuff, but there's clearly people staying in some of these places. Not always, you know, there are abandoned buildings, but there are other times where it's like, why does it look like this? And Mystic Manor is among them. You know, you've got these boarded up windows. This place looks long abandoned, but doesn't... Oh, it's never explained really. Doesn't Holly live here? I don't know how long ago Alexander Graham went missing, but... well, they might have said at the start, but I can't remember. But doesn't Holly live here? Or does she not? Was she paying a visit? Did she hear about his disappearance and then come to visit? Why does this place look the way it is? And why is it called Mystic Manor? Anyway, that's the alternative way of getting rid of that gargoyle. And it allows you to get this power up way earlier than intended. Also allows you to get all of the Scooby snacks on your first visit here. So this is going to be our first area where we get all of the Scooby snacks. And we got the Black Knight Armor's costume. It's essentially an upgrade to your slippers and shade. Goes to show that Scooby didn't actually need the slippers because we're able to sneak perfectly fine barefooted. And that isn't really any different, but you can actually sneak past the monsters without them detecting you this time. So as long as you're wearing the outfit, they won't attack you, but you also still can't attack them. Wow, that was a landing. And that wasn't. Anyway, we've gotten everything in this area now, so we can finally move on. How do you even board up these windows? So, I try to think what your job must be like for a window cleaner in this place. You know, I was having a real hard time grabbing a hold of some of these lights. Because there were so many times where I just clip right through them. There seems to be something in the double jump that seems to cause you to go right through the lights. So, like that. It's like, what was that? I don't want to save the game. I had just booted up the game at the time that I got there. So far, this is behaving better than JPOG did. The game is not constantly freezing. Why did I say that? It probably will now. We had that sound effects issue in Finding Nemo. So I wouldn't put it past the game freezing. I mean, this one's kind of a misleading name. Because you're indoors. I guess they just had to have a part 2. We've got more of these, more keys to collect, and we also have the Witch Doctor. We briefly saw him last time. These are really annoying places, but look at that. There are times where it's like, how are you supposed to avoid that? And this is definitely one of them. It's like, how was I supposed to avoid getting hit there? Or here. They couldn't place him a little bit further back. It's bad enough that you can shoot fireballs. Yeah, he's fine. Again, I cannot remember that guy's name. Now here he's called the Witch Doctor, but I think he did have an actual name. There was 2 of them. There was that and there was like a big statue thing. It might have been the statue that was named, I don't know. It's been a while. I don't really watch the show anymore. Yeah, I'm deliberately trying to ignore those. Even though I probably won't be coming back to collect it. What that is that's like a box of soap. So 2 power-ups that you'll get later on in the game, they're like the last 2 power-ups you get. Is bubblegum or chewing gum, whatever it is, and soap bubbles. And you can only hold on to so many at a time. But if you collect, like, the big blue boxes are for the soap, the long thin red things are for the chewing gum, and you can extend it. What I'm not sure is if it holds over when you collect them prematurely. Like, if you collect that, which is right in front of you and easy to do, does it still add on once I get the power up, or have I lost it? That's the one thing that's always worried me, because I've never really looked, so I deliberately try to avoid them. But you would have seen them every now and then. We saw the soap bubble. There was one in On Edge in the hedge, I think, and there was another one that we could briefly see in Shock on the Dock. You can see a chewing gum thing in All Scares Upstairs. Speaking of which, the flaming chandeliers are back. We can't go on any further here because there is tar in the way. It's a very small, very specifically placed bit of tar. It's just on that one little bit right there. Just so you can't go up to the top. But yeah, Panic in the Attic Part 2. Cower in the Tower is Part 1. I don't know why they bothered giving it its own name. But yeah, Cower in the Tower is Panic in the Attic Part 1. I'm not going to be getting that monster signal for some time because we can't go back up the slope. Luckily if you miss, you can, there is a way back up. Because you do need to jump into that upper section to move on. More Witch Doctors are everywhere in this area. They just don't really show up in many other places. This place is infested with bats. I don't know about America, but I think it is actually illegal to remove bats if they've settled in your, if they've settled in a building. Thank you, convenient farting sounding bookshelf. Barely got that. Yeah, it is a surprisingly difficult jump to make actually, because I swear the the collision detection is weird in that one area right there. It's like Scooby has to be completely in the gap in order for him to go through. It's like if so much as Scooby's tail isn't through that gap, you're going straight down. No, even the picture frames are falling down. They don't do anything, but they're falling down. You know, Mystic Manor had like all sorts of towers and everything. Which part of the attic are we in? I mean, I guess this is 4 parts long, so I guess we could just say that it's like various parts of the attic, but because this mansion is freaking massive. It may look small when you're in the Mystery Machine Part 1, just viewing it from the outside, but when it's one of those situations when once you're inside it, it's like 5 times as big. As is always the case in literally everything. Granted, it is kind of like that with regular buildings, but you know, in these cartoons, it's always tiny on the outside. Oh no, the magic carpet got away. Thank you. Yo, Rockman, haven't seen you for a few millennia. It does kind of, it's not exactly quite as well patterned, but it kind of looks like the magic carpet from Aladdin. But yeah, now usually in Scooby-Doo, the monsters end up being fake, and it's all put on. It's usually a man in a mask or some contraption of some kind. The magic carpets, no, they're just real. The magic carpets, the chandeliers, those barrels that are falling down there, that is actually magic. Yeah, they don't always hide in ice cubes. They can also hide in a wooden box, apparently. I mean, why not? I don't know how they got in there, but why not? I mean, I say, how did they get in there? Look, this is Scooby-Doo. I can't think of many things more dangerous than questioning logic in a Scooby-Doo situation. Again, the costumes have said it all, with Shaggy and Scooby's various outfits. Oh no! Or how they're able to get into certain things and change their outfits within it again. The Ghost of Hyde episode is the best example I can give. They'd switch into like 3 different costumes inside an old TV set, which is smaller than just one of them, let alone both of them. But eventually Hyde did work it out. It's not the most exciting of magic carpet rides, I have to say. I don't think I'm experiencing a whole new world up here. How did these Scooby Snacks get here? Again, why am I asking that question? I shouldn't answer that question in Scooby-Doo. I'm pretty sure if you try to bring logic into Scooby-Doo, it's gonna cause some sort of damage to the time-space continuum. One thing I do know is I've never watched any other. In fact, what have I watched from Hanna-Barbera? I honestly don't know. Because for starters, I'm not entirely sure which cartoons are Hanna-Barbera. I know they had a reputation for pretty much copying and pasting the exact same idea. In fact, I don't even think Scooby-Doo was the original one to do the whole kids hunting, solving mysteries sort of thing. But I think it was the one that popularized it, but then the formula kept getting stale, not helped by the fact that they released so many others that are kind of similar. The only one I can think of, I've never watched it, but I recall there was one where there was like, I think his name was Captain Caveman. And he teams up with like 3 teenage girls. And they solve mysteries. I don't think it's always hunting monsters, but there's that sort of thing. And then I think there was one that had like a superhero dog. I don't know. I think the only one I can think of that actually had like a big success was the Flintstones. But like, that's it. Like the Flintstones and Scooby-Doo. I can't think of anything else, but I also can't think what other ones are Hanna-Barbera. Because I barely watched the Flintstones. I don't even think I've watched like 5 episodes of the Flintstones. Alright, welcome to a dark and stormy night. This time the floor really is just going to be very slippery. And that tends to happen every once in a while. You get 2 big monsters that you hit one, you can't move for a bit, and then you're just going to immediately take damage. Even worse when it's a monster that takes 2 hits like the creeper does. Right, you have this little lightning cloud. And it does that. Not really sure how it's doing it, but... well, what it even is. But you have a lightning cloud. It fires lightning down at those little puddles of water. Right, you've got to be quick there. You see that? That pops up right there. You've got to be very quick for that. The moment it starts going up, you just barely have enough space. So the moment it starts going up, you're pretty much blocked. You'll go over and just hit the switch again. Right, so now we get to have some rooftop fun. No, I'm not going to do that. Right, we have chimneys, I think. I think this is supposed to be a chimney. It's on fire. That's some really high flames in that chimney. Smoke I expect, but the actual chimney's on fire. I think that gap is just there to trick you. I don't think there's anything down there. Well, there might be. When I come back here later on with all the power-ups. Then there might be. Which I'm still debating, by the way, but I also kind of want to showcase all of the monsters. You know, we have the monster gallery, may as well show that off, but if you're going to go after all the monster tokens, you may as well go after all of the Scooby sacks. That makes sense to me. And that's the unintended way of you getting up there. So I think what they really wanted you to do is to use the platforms here, get on the magic carpet, and then it takes you over there. We jumped our way up, so we don't need to worry about that. I do, however, need to worry about falling back down anyway. So yeah, I was wrong. This part rains as well. This is a dark and stormy night in a few areas. But notice the spelling of that night. There's a K in it. I wonder if that means anything. Oh my god, another Geronimo. He actually shows up somewhere else in this game. I don't think he spawns back in though. I think once you come back here, that's it. He's not there anymore. But yeah. Geronimo, he actually does show up at one other point in this game besides those 2 that we see in, what was it called again? The first part, Clamor in the Manor, part 4. He do show up somewhere else. Yeah, Shaggy sometimes has dialogue and sometimes it's just, like sometimes there's actually voice acting, sometimes there isn't. I think more often there isn't than there is. Right, so just get Shaggy to launch you up. If you can see where the Scooby's are. So I don't think you actually need to worry about this. You have a magic carpet that gets you to all those Scooby sacks. And suddenly a witch is activated by hitting that switch. And Shaggy is somehow actually having fun during that. That is not a sort of thing. Shaggy is scared of everything. What is going on there? He should be terrified that he's just been grabbed by a witch. Anyway, even though these things are not... I can walk perfectly fine up that, but I for some reason can't walk over those triangular parts of the roofs. I don't get it. Anyway, that's your safety bit in case you fall back down. I can't stand on that, but I can stand on that. How does that work? I'm questioning logic again, but I don't care. That's just annoying. Why would you design it that way? Because in fact, the one that you could, the slope that you can walk on, I swear, is steeper than the one you can't walk on. It's the one Scooby's not dead. This part, however. Stand on it, Shaggy shows up, and you gotta jump. And every single time he's gonna say, going up, going down. And there we go. Just grab these stacks here. I hate when you have to do this though, when you have to jump for something while trying to stay on the platform while it's moving. I always hate that. I kicked the table then, so the microphone might go a bit weird. Alright, he doesn't show up in these chimneys though, which are also not on fire. It's a good thing the one that Shaggy fell into is not on fire.
It's a warp gate.
The warp gate? But we're only in part 2. There's a part 3. I don't get it. Why would they do that? Why would you do that? Oh no, it's full of tar. They give you all these sandwiches to fill up your health, but that you can't collect any of it. What's the point?
Ah, the infamous Scooby-Doo. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Mastermind. I'm the reason you're here.
You are?
I'm the one who made Professor Graham disappear.
You did?
I'm also the one who's brought back all of your old foes.
But why?
That is a mystery you will never solve. And one more thing. I'm the one who's kidnapped all your friends.
Velma!
Scooby-Doo!
See if you can get past this fiendish fright. You remember the Black Knight.
Velma! He disappeared!
We'll worry about that later, Scooby. Watch out! It's the Black Knight!
Oh no!
Alright, it's time for our first boss fight, the Black Knight. So we finally met our nemesis of the game, the Mastermind. He's finally showed himself. Voiced by Tim Curry. You have a witch during this fight as well. I'm not really sure what the purpose of the witch is. I guess it's just an additional obstacle alongside the lightning cloud. All you have to do... He throws axes as well. All you have to do is wait for him to be in front of one of these switches and then hit it. I used to be so confused here because I always thought that you had to wait for the clouds to be in position. You don't. It's very easy. You got a theme song playing. It's kind of, the boss fights are kind of like the chase sequences. So you do have songs playing. They are pretty cool songs actually. And that's it. It just anticlimactically ends. The music keeps playing. The song keeps playing. The songs are actually pretty catchy. They're very short, but they're catchy. Right, finally rescue Velma! Let's go help her out.
My glasses! Help me look for them, Scooby.
Okay.
Something fishy's going on here, Scooby. We solved the mystery of the Black Knight ages ago. Have you found any clues?
I don't know. There was a spooky groundskeeper.
A spooky groundskeeper?
Yeah, and ghosts and monsters.
Scooby-Doo, you know there's no such thing as monsters and ghosts. Remember the first time we met the Black Knight? We thought he was a monster, but really he was just a guy in a mask. Aha! I found him! Jinkies, the lenses got knocked out.
Here's some lenses, Velma.
Thanks, Scooby. I can't see a thing without these. Jinkies, Scooby, it's the Creeper!
The Creeper? Where?
He's everywhere! Run, Scooby!
Velma, wait! I don't see any Creeper.
Why, hello there.
Hello?
I'm Professor Alexander Graham. And you found one of my amazing invention crates. Let's see now. What's in this one? Oh, here we go. Well, inside this box, you should either find my automated herring scraper or my anti-stick galoshes. Oh, looks like it's the galoshes. With these, you can walk across any sticky surface and not get stuck. And best of all, they're banana flavored. Oh, banana. My favorite.
These might be useful.
And now the song starts playing again. So does he just leave a video in case anybody comes across one of his randomly placed crates? That was sure it was convenient. Velma's a ghost apparently, because that gate was clearly shut. Anyway, it loops around, takes us back to the start of Tower in the Tower. See, the placement of this token makes sense. It's right after we fought the Black Knight. Anyway, this is the only time that this sort of thing ever happens. It's like, when you rescue Daphne and Fred, it'll be right at the ends of the other areas. Right at the ends of the hedge maze and all that stuff. Right at the end of the coast. And it simply then has a way that sends you straight back to the Mystery Machine. But Mystic Manor doesn't do that. Instead, you have to use the warp gate. So I hope you activated that warp gate. Otherwise, you've got a long journey back. Anyway, we don't need to go to the Mystery Machine. We need to go to Shock on the Dock. We can finally get past those barrels of fish that were blocking our way because you couldn't charge, we didn't have the helmet, nor could we walk on the tar. We can finally do that now. As you can see, we can no longer access Fear on the Pier. That snack gate was a one-time thing. So let's head down. Let's not head down. Where am I going? To the cannery. I don't know how you pronounce that. Fishy clues for Scooby-Doo. One of my least favourite areas that we will get into next time.